The story begins in the United States, where the lives of two brothers seem destined to collide in the most tragic way. Sam Cahill is a decorated Marine captain, disciplined and admired both on the battlefield and at home. He's a devoted husband to Grace and a loving father to his two daughters, Isabel and Maggie. Sam appears to have it all: a stable family, respect from his community, and a deep sense of duty to his country. As the film opens, Sam is preparing for another tour of duty in Afghanistan. Grace watches him, trying to hide the worry in her eyes. The girls are small, innocent, and unaware of how drastically their lives are about to change. Before he leaves, Sam writes a letter meant only to be opened if he doesn't come home. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Tommy Cahill, Sam's younger brother. Where Sam is straight-laced and responsible, Tommy is reckless, impulsive, and carrying the scars of past mistakes. Recently released from prison for armed robbery, Tommy drifts through life with no clear purpose, often disappointing his family and clashing with his father Hank. Shortly before Sam's deployment, Grace hosts a modest dinner to welcome Tommy back home. The family tries to maintain civility, but it's like walking through a minefield. Hank can't help but compare his sons, praising Sam's military service while humiliating Tommy, calling him a disgrace and a constant disappointment. Tension explodes into an argument, and the dinner ends with Hank storming out, leaving Tommy once again cast as the family's black sheep. Despite the chaos, Sam shares a quiet, intimate moment with Grace that night. He removes his wedding ring, and Grace strings it onto a chain to wear close to her heart. She pleads with him to come back safe, and he assures her that he will. Then, the deployment begins. Sam arrives in the harsh, dusty terrain of Afghanistan. He seems calm and composed, focused on his mission. But tragedy strikes swiftly and without warning. While flying over rugged mountains in a military helicopter, Sam's aircraft is shot down. The crash is sudden and violent, leaving no time for anyone to react. Back home, Grace's life collapses in a single moment. Two Marines arrive at her door in full dress uniform. One of her daughters answers the door innocently, unaware of the grim message these men bring. Grace instantly knows. The military informs her that Sam is presumed dead, lost in action. The shock is crushing. Grace spirals into grief, replaying videos of Sam, calling his phone repeatedly just to hear his voicemail message. Every attempt only brings her back to the same recorded voice. "This is Sam Cahill. Please leave a message." Tommy learns about Sam's apparent death when he shows up at Grace's house one night, drunk and carefree, expecting the usual routine of his wayward life. When Grace tells him Sam is gone, the news hits him like a sledgehammer. For all his flaws, Tommy loves his brother deeply. He lashes out in anger and grief, blaming the military for sending Sam back into a war zone. The funeral that follows is gut-wrenching. Grace can't bring herself to read Sam's farewell letter, and the girls struggle to understand what forever really means. Isabel is old enough to grasp that her father won't be coming home, while little Maggie can't quite comprehend why Daddy isn't there anymore. But in Afghanistan, Sam is not dead. He and Private Joe Willis have survived the helicopter crash only to be captured by Taliban forces. Thrown into a filthy underground prison, Sam quickly steps into a leadership role, instructing Joe to give their captors no information. No names, no ranks, nothing that might help the enemy. Meanwhile, back in the States, Tommy begins an unexpected transformation. He spends time at Grace's house, fixing the kitchen, playing with the girls, helping Grace navigate the chaos of grief. Grace, initially suspicious and guarded, starts to see a different side of Tommy, a man trying desperately to redeem himself and fill the gaping hole Sam's absence has left. The girls, especially Maggie, grow attached to Tommy, who brings laughter and life back into the home. Pancake breakfasts, goofy games, small moments of joy. They become flickers of normalcy in an otherwise dark time. But as Tommy grows closer to Grace, the boundary between grief and something more begins to blur. One night, after a day filled with laughter and shared memories, Grace and Tommy share a tender moment. Memories of their younger days surface, old warmth mixing with present loneliness. A glance becomes a touch, and a touch becomes a kiss. But Grace pulls away, deeply conflicted. "I can't," she whispers, reminding both of them of the line they almost crossed. Back in captivity, Sam and Joe are living a nightmare. They are starved, tortured, and mentally broken down by their captors. The Taliban execute another prisoner in front of them, demanding that Sam record a propaganda message for America. Joe, terrified and on the edge, eventually breaks, revealing Sam's identity and information about his family. The consequences are immediate and brutal. The Taliban decide one of the two prisoners must die as punishment. They hand Sam a metal rod and demand that he kill Joe, or they'll kill both of them and Sam's family as well. At first, Sam refuses, but when the captors begin threatening his daughters by name, desperation overtakes him. Sobbing, shaking, Sam beats Joe to death in order to survive. The act is filmed, becoming a wound in Sam's soul that he cannot close. After months of torment, American forces storm the Taliban compound and rescue Sam. But the man who returns to the United States is not the same man who left. Grace is notified that Sam is alive. She and the girls rush to the airport, overwhelmed with relief and joy. But when Sam steps off the plane, it's clear something has changed. His eyes are haunted, his movements stiff. Though he's physically home, he remains trapped in the mental prison of his trauma. At home, Sam is distant, cold, and deeply suspicious. He barely touches Grace, struggles to interact with the girls, and seems perpetually lost in his thoughts. When he learns about Tommy's help with the house and his closeness with Grace, seeds of jealousy and paranoia begin to sprout. "Did you sleep with him?" Sam demands of Grace. She swears nothing happened, but Sam is consumed by visions of betrayal. Even simple family outings become tense. At an ice rink, Sam watches Tommy laughing with the girls, feeling as though his place in his own family has been taken. Sam's mental health deteriorates rapidly. He becomes obsessive, rearranging glasses with military precision, gripping a pistol late at night, unable to sleep. At Maggie's birthday party, the fragile peace shatters. Isabel, the older daughter, explodes in a burst of anger and confusion, screaming at her father. That night, Sam has a violent breakdown. Overcome with rage and despair, he smashes the renovated kitchen Tommy built, crying out, "I survived for this? For what?" Grace begs him to stop, but Sam can't control the chaos inside him. Tommy rushes in to help, but Sam pulls a gun on his own brother. Outside, police sirens wail. The house is surrounded. Sam emerges, gun in hand, his mind teetering on the edge of collapse. He lifts the weapon to his head, declaring to Tommy, "I'm drowning. You don't know what I did." Grace sobs and pleads with him to put the gun down. At the last possible moment, Sam lowers the weapon and drops it to the ground. The police move in, and Sam is taken to a psychiatric facility. In the aftermath, Grace finally opens the letter Sam wrote before he left for Afghanistan. His words are filled with love, hope, and sorrow, a stark contrast to the broken man who came home. In the psychiatric center, Sam calls Tommy. There's awkward silence at first, but slowly the brothers talk. Tommy promises to look after Grace and the girls, and a fragile bridge begins to form between them once again. Finally, Grace visits Sam. Her love for him hasn't vanished. He's not sure he'll ever be the same again, but for the first time since his return, there's a sliver of hope, a possibility that the man lost in war might find his way back to his family. The film ends not with triumph, but with the quiet, ongoing struggle of healing. Love remains, though battered. Forgiveness hangs in the air, waiting for time and patience to make it real. And two brothers, Sam and Tommy, stand at the edge of redemption, trying to rebuild the pieces of lives shattered by war, loss, and secrets too heavy to bear. Please like and subscribe for more movie recaps.